I have previously been a PlayStation guy. I've previously been an Xbox guy. I liked the 360 when it came out. That's what I was on until the next generation. I switched back over. Previous to that, I had the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. You know, I've been back and forth a little bit. This generation, welcome back, guys. Here we are again, over a year later. You see we got the Xbox and we got the PlayStation sitting right there in the background. See the PlayStation towering over the Xbox. So here we are again doing the review over a year later on which one I feel like is better in my opinion. Just comparing the two and you know, seeing which one can outscore the other in different categories, you know, features, hardware, performance, graphics, controllers, UI, storage, you know, everything, games, you name it, we got it. That's what we're gonna be going over. We're just gonna call it how it is. We're gonna call a spade, and pretty much that's how we're gonna do it. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, stick around. We're gonna get right to it. Without further ado, let's go. All right, so first of all, I guess we could talk about the design. The Xbox, they just wanted to do, you know, the minimalist approach, which I like. I am a fan of that, being a minimalist myself, or transitioning into a minimalist maybe. At this point in my life, I like things very minimal. If I don't need it, I don't want it. And that's pretty much what they did here with the Xbox Series X. Just a nice, sleek, simple design. And I personally like it. It is big compared to other things, but as far as like compared to the PlayStation, obviously there's a reason why one is in the back and one is in the front. So you know, you can see the big tower back there. We'll get to that. This is a little more easy to fit into certain places, you know, in the entertainment center. Not gonna be as much of a hassle as getting this bad boy into a certain spot. So I am a fan of the look of the Xbox. But with that being said, I am also a fan of the look of this big old PlayStation 5 back here, this modem tower, whatever you want to call it. It is big, it is bulky, it is a little bit inconvenient when figuring out where you want to place it, but I just like the look of it. You know, it does look kind of futuristic, if you will, even though I think things in the future probably won't be so big. It's kind of like taking a step back as far as technology goes, you know, like even with cell phones. Well, cell phones kind of took a step back as far as size goes, but they went from being big blocks, bulky, you know, to getting smaller and smaller, and then they got thinner, but they started getting bigger. This is kind of big and bulky, so maybe the next time they'll get a little thinner, you know. Obviously for the Pro, that's usually what they do, but overall I do like the design of it. I am a fan of that as well. You could take off the faceplates. There's several different things you could do to it where you don't really have that with the Xbox, even though you could get a skin or something. I hear a lot of people say they like just replacing the plates. I've never been a skin or, you know, just that type of person. Maybe I'll throw a couple stickers on there, you know, at times, but as far as like skins and things like that go, I've never really been too into that, so I won't be replacing the plates on this or putting a skin on this. For the design, with all that being said, I am a fan of both. So with that one, I'm gonna go with the tie. That's pretty much based on your opinion. It's not really like a clear-cut winner, I feel like, when it comes to that, because it's just all opinionative. Opinionative. The f is that a word? Now, as far as controllers go, I guess we could start off with none other than the PlayStation 5 DualShock. This has pretty much been all the talk, all the rave, if you will. Is that the saying that they use? I don't really use that saying, but it sounds like something to put right there in that sentence, so we're gonna go with that. This has been all the rave around town. I think that's how you use it. You know, the DualShock controller, obviously with the adaptive triggers, the haptic feedback. This is where we really seen a lot of the innovation and upgrades in technology, if you will. And with the Xbox controller here, this is pretty much the same thing. I like how it feels. I will say I do like how the Xbox controller feels over the PlayStation controller. That's been a thing since Xbox 360. They've always had the better feeling controller. It literally feels like it belongs in your hand, like it's perfect weight. It just feels right. Like this is the perfectly built controller. So in that aspect, I don't feel like they really have to change much. If anything, I don't feel like they have to change anything. I hope they never change the shape and just the overall feel of it. But, you know, where it is lacking is the areas that the PlayStation capitalized on, and that's the new innovation, the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers. It talks to you. This thing has a speaker. You can use this little touchpad, you know, even though it doesn't feel as good in the hands as the Xbox controller. All the innovation is right here in the DualShock. And for those reasons, I think a lot of people would agree that this is going to take the cake when it comes to Xbox controller versus PlayStation controller. Even though, you know, they didn't do much, I still love the way it feels, the weight and everything. It's a perfect feeling controller. So I guess from there we could get right into the UI. And when it comes to this, my early argument, you know, for PlayStation was that it was 4K resolution and the Xbox wasn't. But if I'm not mistaken, and I just looked this up because I wasn't really keeping track, and I thought I remembered an update coming out where they made 4K resolution possible. If that is the case, then it does make it a little closer. For me, I'm still gonna have to go with the PlayStation on this, just because, you know, it's a fresh new look. Even though there's certain things you can't do, like customization, and you know, there's a few little things that are annoying with the UI and the whole PlayStation dashboard. But overall, I think it looks better. It's a little more organized, you know, whereas the Xbox One just looks a little cluttered and everything's like stacked on top of each other kind of. And they didn't really change too much with it. This can pretty much be based on opinion as well. So, you know, don't really take it for too much, me saying this is just my opinion. Getting right into the features, this one, I think there's just a clear-cut winner. We ain't even gonna waste no time. I'll tell you guys right now, it's gonna be Xbox for me. Obviously, they have the Game Pass. I'll count that as a feature on this one. They have Quick Resume. They would have still won it with Quick Resume. That feature is so dope. I haven't heard one person complain about Quick Resume. Like, it's something that should have been implemented with PlayStation as well. It is somewhat of a game changer, no pun intended. You know, you go from one game straight to the next without having to worry about saving anything, and then you jump straight into another game. And if you had Quick Resume with that one, you just jump right into where you left off, and vice versa. So that is a game changer. Once again, I will say that. As well as Game Pass, if we're going to count this as a feature, because I believe it is a feature, right? That is like the best thing by far out of anything. You know, that right there is honestly going to play a big factor, I believe, when it comes to people making the decision if they want to get the Xbox or if they want to get the PlayStation. For me, that is what makes the decision kind of like, dang, because if it wasn't for Game Pass, then I won't lie to you guys, I would just go with the PlayStation based on some things we're going to talk about. But Game Pass is what really makes it a hard decision. You know, I haven't had to buy, like, if you could get the Xbox and not buy a single game. I've heard so many people say they got the Xbox, they didn't buy a single game for it. All they did was pay for Xbox Game Pass, and there's so many top level games on there that you'll be stuck on that for as long as you really want to be stuck on that. You know, you could play all day every day, and the library is so vast and so full of actually good AAA type games that you actually want to play, unlike PlayStation. Now they're improving a bit, I will say that, but they're still nowhere close to Xbox Game Pass. I know they got Spartacus coming or whatever, but we'll see how that goes. Xbox Game Pass, the best thing in gaming, in my opinion, and I would say a lot of other people's as well. You guys could let me know down below in the comments what you think about that. But for sure, Xbox is taking it on the features. Now this one right here, I wasn't too impressed with either system. Obviously one did better than the other, and there is a clear-cut winner in this one as well. The memory in either one of these isn't the best. You got 1 terabyte in the Xbox, 250 for the expansion, and then in the PlayStation, which was really disappointing, you know, for a lot of people, 825 gigabytes, which, you know, you're just a little, you know, a couple hundred gigabytes off from a terabyte, but still, you know, it makes a difference. Trust me, the deleting games when you want to play another game every single time you want to play another game gets annoying. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we could all agree with that. The upgrade and expansion for the PlayStation, the cost varies. You know, Xbox, they just got one expansion card for it that is only for the Xbox. PlayStation, we all know it's a little different. It is a little bit of a process, you know, to put the expansion in the PlayStation. You got to take some things apart, put some things back together. With the Xbox, plug and play. Plug and play. They made it very simple. So obviously this one is going to be going to Xbox for the dub on the memory. Let's get to something that I think a lot of people would agree. There is going to be obviously some people that don't agree, but getting to the games, especially exclusives, that's what really gets brought up a lot when talking about games between the Xbox and the PlayStation. And what you'll be hearing everybody say is the PlayStation is the clear-cut winner at this point in time when it comes to exclusives. I mean, we got Spider-Man Miles Morales, which was a great game. Not very long of a game, but I didn't mind that. and it was just good, man. Overall, Spider-Man games never really fail, and this one wasn't the exception. I love Miles Morales. You know, I'm half Puerto Rican myself, so obviously there's like a little something I could relate to in there. And my last name is Morales as well. I almost forgot about that one. Besides all that, that has nothing to do with why I like it so much. It's just a good game. Aside from that, we got Sackboy. You know, a lot of people like that game. I never played it, but heard a lot of good things about it. We got Astro's Playroom. I'm gonna count this as an exclusive because, I mean, it was talked so well of. Obviously, I played it initially just to test it out. I never played all the way through. It gave me sort of a Mario World type of vibe to it, which I liked. I enjoyed that. Mario World was a big part of my childhood, you know, with the Nintendo 64. I don't know if you guys could see it back there. Obviously, I don't know if you guys could see as well, but we got the 007 in there. That was probably my favorite game, but, you know, Mario Kart, Mario World, Super Smash Bros, you know, Zelda, all that, Castlevania. You guys know, man. If you grew up in the same time period as I did, then you know about the Nintendo 64. Everybody else, unless you like know about that stuff, you're probably like, what the hell is that? Like, we don't care about none of that. But you guys still got those games going, so you know. Mario Kart nowadays, you know, this one I'll still take this Mario Kart over the newer one. That's just me, I don't know. But let's continue on with the list. We got Demon Souls, which I never played. I heard that's like a very extremely hard game, I believe. That's the one they were talking about. And I'm not into, you know, just pissing myself off for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably try it. I'll probably end up trying it, but I just haven't got around to trying it yet. But I heard very good things about that. That was the remake. You got Returnal, which I never played. I didn't play a lot of these games, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't really been crazy into gaming at this point in time. Obviously, we heard good things about that. You know, we heard good things about Ratchet and Clank. That's another one, a classic. I gotta go back and play some of these games. We got Kenya. Was it Kenya or Kenna? I don't know. You guys know how to pronounce it. I believe it was Kenya. No, Kenna? It might have been Kenna, but that looked like a dope game. It looked like a visually pleasing type of game. I heard good things about that one. And obviously Deathloop, which some people I even heard said was the game of the year. I never got a chance to play that one either. It was one that I was kind of initially hype about playing, but that happened a lot with me with games recently, where I was initially hype and then like the hype died down and I didn't end up even getting the game. That's a long list, you know? I mean, it's a semi-long list for where we're at in time. With the Xbox, I mean, we got Halo. Obviously, Halo, that was a dope game. I did play that. I didn't go through the whole story yet, but I mean, the game looks dope, feels dope, it plays dope, the gameplay is sick. Cannot complain about Halo. I loved every minute of that. Forza Horizon 5. I could say the same exact things that I said about Halo about Forza Horizon 5. Always loved Forza. The best racing game, that style of racing game that there is. And we did actually just get Gran Turismo as well for the PlayStation, so that's another, I do have to add that to the list. I didn't get a chance to play that one. I've always been a Forza type of guy, I don't know. And then we got Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I didn't play that. I guess you could throw that in there, you know what I'm saying? I just seen that on a list, so I decided to throw it in there as well. But that's all you got compared to the list of PlayStation. I mean, say what you want, but speaks for itself, kinda. So obviously, when it comes to games, even though Xbox does have the Game Pass, you know, we kind of put that with the features. And when we talk about games and PlayStation versus Xbox in particular, we kind of look towards the exclusives. So definitely PlayStation is going to take the win on that one. And I guess a good segue from the gaming, from the games, can be straight into the graphics, right? This one is so close, the regular viewer probably won't even realize the difference when we're talking about graphics if you put it side by side. You really got to be like an analytical type person. You might notice it, I guess, in certain games maybe. I don't notice it too much, but I mean, the numbers don't lie. You know, they did run some tests, and frame rates and things of that nature play better on one system as opposed to the other, and that system is the Xbox. You know, even though it is a slight difference, you still got to give it to them. So Xbox is going to take it on this one. And I will say, when it comes to third-party games, I do kind of lean towards the Xbox just for that reason. You know, it does stick in your mind, like it's a more powerful system. I did see some things that said, you know, certain stuff plays better on the PlayStation, but overall, for the most part, we usually see that when it comes to the Xbox. So for those reasons, the Xbox will get that for the hardware and, you know, the performance and the graphics and all of that. Now, I will say, I don't know if it's just me, but this thing puts out a lot more heat than the PlayStation does. If I'm wearing a sweater and I'm playing the Xbox, eventually I'm gonna have to take the sweater off. Like, it feels like I got a heater, and that might not be a bad thing. It might just be pushing out the heat instead of just keeping it in, which is a good thing. You know, that's the whole point of the fan. So I don't know, let me know if you guys have that experience with the Xbox as well. You could drop that down below in the comments. But I don't really have that issue with the PlayStation, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So let me know your guys' opinion down below in the comments. I guess the last thing to discuss when it comes to the Xbox versus the PlayStation is the future. And I'm not a future teller, you know what I'm saying? I can't see the future. I could only give you my opinion. And I will say, aside from, you know, a few games that I'm hype about, like God of War, and things like that. And I did forget to add Horizon Zero Dawn. That's another one you can add to that list. When it comes to the future, for me personally, I think no doubt it's looking promising for Xbox. They're making a lot of purchases with Bethesda, with Activision, Blizzard. It looks like they're making a lot of moves. So the future does look bright for Xbox, but I'm not going to really give one or the other the lead for that, because I'm not like an analyst and I don't really look into the details, and really I can only give you my opinion from what I see from where I'm at as a regular viewer and consumer. So I will say the future does look bright for Xbox, but you never know what the future holds. You guys let me know what you think as far as the future goes with these consoles. Which one do you think is looking brighter? I will say Xbox does look a little brighter from all the purchases they are making. Now, I won't say that that is my opinion on which one I would prefer and which one I would recommend. When it comes to that, you know, it is just based on your opinion. Like I said, the performance is such a slight difference that I wouldn't make the decision based on that. Basically, it's like, you know, what games do you prefer? Where do your friends play? What controller do you like better? Me personally, I'm happy I have both, because, you know, I love Game Pass. I love God of War. That's one of the games I'm most hype about. And, you know, there's obviously a lot of other PlayStation exclusives that I like. So I'm glad I could choose both. It's very hard for me to recommend one or the other. If you like just third-party games and you don't care about the PlayStation exclusives, and obviously Game Pass, if you don't want to like be purchasing games all the time, you have so many games to choose from with that. Obviously the Xbox is going to be the winner. If you like the PlayStation exclusives, you want the new technology in the controller, you know, you like the futuristic look of it, your friends play over there, then obviously you're going to go with the PlayStation. So with all that being said, it's basically on what you prefer with those things. You guys can let me know once again what you think. What is the better system? Say it down below in the comments. Me, I have previously been a PlayStation guy. I've previously been an Xbox guy. I liked the 360 when it came out. That's what I was on until the next generation I switched back over. Previous to that, I had the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, even had the PlayStation 3, but that's when I, you know, decided to try the 360 as well. And that won me over. That's when I started liking the Xbox controller, and, you know, that's when I first played Forza. And, you know, at that point I hadn't even played Halo. I played Halo. So, you know, Gears of War, that was big around that time. I loved that game. So, you know, I've been back and forth a little bit. This generation, I'm like right in between. I can't really choose one or the other. It's hard to say. Like I said, I'm glad I have both. But as for the 1 year later reviews, that's pretty much how I see it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you guys enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. That helps out tremendously. I appreciate it greatly. All links to everything I use and recommend down below in the description. The 1391 merchant apparel, if you guys want to support, you could go check that out, 1391.com. Link down below in the description. All my social platforms down there. The car channel, if you guys are interested, that is down there as well. Once again, thank you guys so much. Until the next time, I'm going to see you guys soon. Louis1391 checking out. Salute.